In part 16, we covered the creation of the login API and the LAN to dashboard API. Now, let's proceed to implement these APIs in our React app in this part. Here, I'm creating a config.js file to store all API endpoints. Let's add the base URL to this file first. Next, we are creating an object named API endpoints. Now we are creating an API endpoint for user login request. It will dynamically combine the base URL with /user login using backticks. This setup makes API management organized and scalable. Next, we have created this API.js file inside this API folder, where we will define functions that will handle API requests using Axios. Next, we need to install Axios because it simplifies request handling, has built-in support for request response interception, and automatically parses JSON responses. Instead of writing API requests directly inside components, we will separate them into a dedicated file. This improves maintainability, reusability, and scalability. Here we have imported Axios library, which will be used to make HTTP requests. Second, we are importing API endpoints, which is an object containing all API endpoints. Now we have defined the asynchronous function. This function takes identifier and password as input parameters. Inside this function's try block, Axios.post function sends a post request to the login endpoint defined in API endpoints. And the second argument is an object containing user credentials passed in the request body. Once the request is complete and successful, Axios returns a response object, which contains the data returned from the server. If an error occurs during the request, execution jumps to the catch block. This piece of code attempts to extract an error message from the server response data. If no specific error message is available, login failed is thrown as a generic error message. Next, we will update our login component. Here we are importing the useState hook from React, which is used to manage component state. Next, we are importing login user function, which sends the login request to the backend. By the way, we created this login.js page in part 1 of this series. You can check it out for reference. Inside this login function component, below the navigate function, we are setting up state variables using the useState hook. For identifier, password, and error, each with an initial value. Each of these variables has a corresponding setX function to update their values. Next, inside this handle login function and below event.function, let's initialize try block. Now we are calling login user to send login details to the backend. Since we need to use await functions, we will make this handle login function asynchronous. Here we will store the token and user in local storage. As briefly discussed in part 16, we will use this token to handle the capture page. Let's move forward. If something goes wrong, the error will be stored in the error state. Now let's make some changes in UI. Let's add a paragraph after the login header that will display an error message. Next, inside this input field, let's change value of placeholder to username or email. And add value attribute, which will bind the input field to the identifier state, meaning whatever the user types will be reflected in the identifier variable. Next, let's add on change event handler. So whenever the user will type, it will update the identifier state with the current value of the input field. Here, similar changes have been made for the password input field. So, here are changes to the login page for testing the user login API are completed. Let's check how these changes work. Now I am entering any username and password to check the response we get. Oh no, we got an error, login failed. Let's check the console log for details. Press F12 on Windows to open the developer tools in the browser. Here we can see that the request from our URL has been blocked by the CORS policy. This CORS error occurs because our front end is trying to make a request to our backend, but the backend is not allowing cross-origin requests. In simple words, our front end is running on port 3000 and our backend is running on port 5000. We need to find a way to allow the front end to communicate with the backend. Let's make it happen by installing CORS in the backend project. Now, we also need to make some small changes in this server.js file. Let's import the CORS package here. And also add this line, which will allow requests from the front end, in short requests from port 3000. Now, our React app can call APIs without CORS errors. Let's check it out. Okay, we have got an error as invalid username or email. That means our API is working. Let's pass the existing username and password. Wow! Finally, we have reached the capture page, which means our user login API implementation was successful. Let's start implementing the LAN to dashboard API.